very fancy.
Drawn, what topics do you usually bring to your comedy?
A lot of the stuff that I talk about is based in the things that I know and the things that I'm very familiar with. So I talk a lot about race, and I talk a lot about the differences between race.
Because a lot of us, like here's the thing, a lot of us assume that the Middle East is a brainwashed place. A lot of us assume this. Now I'm not going to come out here and say that that's not true, because it's true to some extent. There are religious leaders out there, people out there telling them certain things, shaping the way that they think. So it's true to some extent, but what we have to understand is to some degree we're just as brainwashed. Yeah? If you think about it, when you watch the news or the media and you watch a story on the Middle East, how is the Middle East being portrayed? Like 90% of the time. How is it being portrayed? Riots, violence, yeah? Those riots, for example, is only like 5,000 dudes. Or like 1,000 dudes. It's not the whole country. So what if you think about it, what's the rest of the 23 million people doing?
Underlying that, I like to talk about the fact that there are these differences, but then when it comes down to it, these differences they don't really matter at all. I talk about my wife, I talk about my grandparents, I talk about my childhood, growing up, things that I'm very familiar with. Because I think comedians who speak about things that they know have a sense of honesty that runs through what they're talking about. And that sense of honesty is more powerful than if I was just to like pluck random ideas from the air and try and be funny about them, or talk about things that I don't actually know about.
So all of your jokes is based on something real in your life?
Exaggerated.
Yeah.
You can say that, like you take something that's real and exaggerate it and make it funny.
They're just at work. They're just living their lives. I want to be watching the news halfway through a story on like Syria. I want it to cut to Mustafa, just in an office. And he's like, hello, my name is Mustafa, and I'm just trying to get the printer to work. That's it. Nobody throwing any stones, nothing is on fire. Back to you, Dave. And then it just cuts back to Dave.
Sometimes there's things that are real in my life don't actually have an idea that revolves around it. It's just something that happened. But I can take what happened, that occurrence, and then talk about it in a context, which then gives it meaning and gives it a purpose. Like I could have had a funny conversation with my wife, and that funny conversation is funny, but that's all it is, just a funny conversation. But then I can extend that funny conversation and put it in a new context and exaggerate it, and now it's got so many different facets and it's got meaning to it. I think that's what comedy is. It's just reality exaggerated and seen from a different angle.